I love the show, and I'm just recently new to the live portions, and also to just confessing that I'm an atheist. Because for me,
congratulations.
I haven't. Well, thank you. And that's what I tell people. I've truly been set free now. You know. But check it out. See, I grew up in the church too, and it's filled with falsehoods and whatnot. But before I get into my story, I want to tell Miss Lily that hey, I agree with you. That's the same. This is how come me and my wife, who's now passed, but this is how come we fulfilled each other with. We had an extra person in our life. Now let me say this: I met her in church. And I was at that time wasn't a believer. I was never believed in, all through my life, I never believed in all the stories. I never did. I was just a kid. It was a pain in the ass to everybody in church, and that's just how it was. So, but that's where all my friends were. So I met her in church. We started hanging out, and I'd been all over the world in the Navy. I'd seen the world. I knew life. And she hadn't. She'd been raised in a very strict Christian home here in Alabama, in Northwest Alabama specifically. Now, her family came from very humble means, so they were a little harsh, and you know how Christians are like that. They believe in God for everything. Well, she didn't never really believe herself until later on I found this out, but she was forced to play the piano and be a perfect girl, wear the braces, do the little things they're supposed to do.
Be around it, sure.
When I met her, she's supposed to be, under subjugation, be under the foot of the man. So anyway, her dad used to beat the shit out of them both, her mama and her, in the name of Jesus. After she died, I had all her diaries I had to read through. Made me cry. But anyway, this young lady, after I married her, of course, he said, if you marry this boy, because he knew I didn't really believe, but I went to church. He thought I was just trying to scam on his daughter, but I really loved her, man. And so we fell in love. We ran off and got married. She walked out of that house, left her keys on the table, because he said, if you marry that boy, which I was a grown man, done been in the service, if you marry that boy, I'm cutting you out of my will. And you got to understand, this is the only child. For him to say that, first of all, is crazy. He made her wear braces, play the piano in church every day, go to church all the time. Now, for him to say that was a big stretch. For her to refuse and say, I'll go with this man, this boy, and I'm leaving my family. Wow, what an amazing thing for someone to do. How amazing for us. My goodness, man, this woman sacrificed everything for this dumbass. I mean, how can I not love her? And so we left and went and got married. All right. In the same day. Now, this is my story. If I need to shut up, you just tell me, because this is great shit for you guys. I promise you, man. I'm starting my own channel to reach people my age. Listen, check it out. We left that. I went. She called me. She was, my daddy's told me to get out of the house unless I quit seeing you. I said, baby, I'm coming to get you. I went and got her. I backed my old Camaro up to the door. She's sitting there with a bunch of stuffed animals and her college books. She was still in college. She still had shit in my car. We boogied and went and got married and got our license, got married all on the same day, and got an apartment all on the same day, man. And this was crazy. I was tripping. So here's the deal. My buddy, who was a Christian, had a church, married us. I still got the pictures. They're sweet as they can be, although they're silly, but you know what I mean. We got married in the church. She left everything. This woman sacrificed everything. Now, let me tell you what happened. We went through a year and a half of therapy together because sex was just not, it sucked. Now, when she started telling me the things her dad, her mom was a submissive woman who said nothing. Her dad told her all this shit and had her just scared to death about what sex was going to be about, man. It was just horrible.
That's a story I think a lot of women who grow up in the church, I mean, men too, but women in particular, I feel like see a lot of. Where sex is demonized, sex is criticized, sex is put in this very, very special lockbox, and then you're supposed to be able to take it out at your wedding at 19 and,
know how to use it properly?
Yeah, and love it and accept it and embrace it all of a sudden after being told that every sexual thought you've had for the entirety of your life has been wrong up to this point.
And you're supposed to suddenly be an expert.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And that's the thing, even with all men and women in the church, bro.
Yeah, so what kind of questions did that bring up for you? I mean, y'all went into marriage counseling, and, how'd that go?
Oh, I was going to say is this, all right? So once she understood this, like, I don't mean, and I don't want, it's okay if I say something that's a little bit graphic. Is that cool?
This is a sex show.
Yeah, we definitely get down into the nitty-gritty.
Okay, look, the first time I tried to go down on her, she flipped out.
Yeah.
She thought, what? Right now. So I explained to her that it was all good and whatever. So she was all uptight about it. So once again, after she did let me, and she actually understood that was, man, well, the fact is, man, that's all I had to do. She wanted me to do it all the time. Of course, it's wonderful. But here's the deal. She felt guilty every time she got off, and I'm not kidding you. When I say guilty, shameful guilty. Isn't that weird? Now, that's why we had to go to therapy. Once she got through all that, we wound up, man, sex became amazing. And so we were going through our marriage about 3 years after that. And she had a little girlfriend that worked with her, okay? Real sweet girl. You know, she's 22 or 3 or 4, and we're like 4 years older than her. Real sweet girl. Now, Sharon came on one day and said, look, you know, she's so sweet, and, you know, I think she likes me. And I said, yeah, she likes you. I like her. She's cool. You know, I think she likes me. I said, oh, okay, why? Did she say something? She goes, well, she said something to me, and I don't want you to get mad at me, but I want to tell you something. I said, I'm not going to get mad at you, baby. You know me. She goes, okay. She goes, Jennifer said, look, I find you attractive, and I find your husband attractive, and sometimes I like to get with couples. And she goes, have you ever heard of that? I said, oh, yeah, I've heard of that. You know, Sharon had never heard of that.
Dear Penthouse.
Oh, yeah.
Found yourself a unicorn.
No. Oh, yeah, I didn't think about that. Yeah, Dear Penthouse. But so is the deal. I said, baby, you know, back then it was a different, we didn't call it polyamorous. This person would have been called a unicorn in our little world. And so anyway, Sharon wanted to try it. She did. Now, here's where I'm a hypocrite. And that's what I'm talking about. I want to talk to your guest about. Here's where I'm a hypocrite. I don't think I could ever share my woman with anybody else. And I'm not trying to be a dick or a Bogart. I'm just trying to be honest. So there's my little deal.
Yeah, I think that is actually a pretty common thing, and it comes back to the jealousy and feelings of ownership. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's a pretty common thing because men don't see other women as a threat.
A threat. You're right.
But
it often comes from this place
also
of
kind
lesbian
of unfair.
sex. Yeah, no, it absolutely is. And
just a lot of it.
It's a red flag a lot of times in the community. I mean, your
Well,
feelings
I
are your
know
feelings.
It's just
so
hard
that's
to get that mental thing going.
You know,
what I'm saying?
your feelings are your feelings. You know, what you do with them is the thing that you're accountable for.
Exactly.
So having that feeling of jealousy, I think, you know, we've been talking about the jealousy workbook and, you know, these different ways of describing yourself, of understanding what your capacities and what your desires are. Yeah, definitely there are some cultural things to look at. You know, verbiage, I think, is an important one. I mean, when we talk about somebody that we love, and, you know, Walt Whitman, and my love and my mousy little love, and, you know, these images, that can be not an unhealthy way necessarily of looking at somebody that you care about, but it is tricky when that becomes the only way that you see them. You know, as your love, as somebody who's your woman, as somebody who is connected and belonging to you.
And I think belong there is the key word.
And it wouldn't be such a problematic thing if it wasn't so incredibly pervasive in our culture going back so many hundreds and hundreds of years.
Even the word share,
Well, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this question. Do you think that everybody's cut out for polyamorous?
No.
Okay, so there is some, you know, some of us are just not made for that, then.
I think that there's a lot of truth to that. I don't feel like it is a
be
lifestyle that everybody should jump
we can
into.
bring another girl, you know?
Well, you
But
can
if everybody's
negotiate.
happy.
Yeah, negotiate the
Yeah.
type of relationship that you want to have.
Just be honest about where you're coming from as far as the feelings of being threatened are.
Yeah, and I think that's another
long as
big concern is the
everybody's agreed and on the
fetishizing
same
of
page,
lesbian sex as if it's not real sex. And, you know, I think that can
understand.
really lead to not seeing people as people, which women happen to be.
Yeah, I get it.
I mean, I think we're people. Are we people? I think we're
I'm pretty
people.
clear I'm a person.
I think I'm a person.
Yeah.
Yeah, baby.
Well,
I hope I am. But listen, guys, let me say this. I mean, you know what I understand with me, and I'm sure you talk to a lot of people like myself, but maybe not many my age. I mean, my whole life, I've been very different, and I've known that. Not like I'm special. I'm just like, yeah, I didn't agree with all the bullshit I saw. I had to question everything. So now that I'm in the situation I'm in, I want to learn. So I may mess up a little bit, and I may say a wrong word. I may,
Yeah, and that's fair.
When I called into one of these deals the other night. I didn't mean anything wrong when I say darling or I don't mean that stuff wrong, man. I'm just a dude that grew up in a real, well-indoctrinated world, but has always treated people with fairness and love, and that's all I want to do in the world forever till I leave this world. I don't want people to go away stupid and ignorant, trusting in something that is not real, man. It breaks my heart to see people I love just ignorant, man. It breaks my heart.
Yeah, and that's what this show is here for. You know, it's not to just spend an hour and a half screaming into the internet void about all of the idiots and the incels and the 4chaners, and
right.
we're not here to alienate and stir shit up.
No,
we're here to help people
Educate.
find those words, to understand why some of those phrases may be problematic, why there might be different and in our minds very much better ways of looking at these things. So don't feel like you got to be 100%.
You're not judgmental.
Yeah,
You're not judgmental,
read the
but you
books, watch the
understand there are
shows.
certain people that will be. Yeah.
Sure.
Well, Craig, thank
And
you.
I want you to know this very. Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying. I want you to know I'm coming from a place of honesty and from my heart. Whatever that is. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to be accepted at face value. That's all.
And we appreciate that. Thank you so
Absolutely.
much. And thank you so much for your call. I hope you call us back again when we have some more other and interesting topics. We try and keep it interesting and lively up in here.
Well,
Try to
thank
mix
you,
it up.
guys.
Yep.
You have a wonderful night. Thank you so much.
Hey,
You too.
appreciate you.
Bye.
Keep learning, keep growing. Goes for everybody.
Yeah.